The Spy Who Loved Me is often mentioned as one of the best 007 movies ever. It is usually regarded with high esteem and is considered Roger Moore's best James Bond movie. While I agree that the movie is great, certainly a top-tier 007 movie, but only when it keeps a straight face. The film occasionally trips over itself when it leans too heavy into campy nonsense. Let's tear through the movie, go through the plot, full spoilers, and I'll point out what works and what doesn't work quite as well as it should. We kick off with the pre-credits opening sequence, and it's smart, fun, and sets exactly the right tone, when the movie sticks to it. A British nuclear sub, HMS Ranger, gets swallowed up by a massive underwater contraption. Cut to MI6 where M yanks Bond from a steamy Austrian cabin romp with a blonde who's murmuring sweet nothings as he's already mentally clocking out. Meanwhile, the Soviets lose a submarine too, and the KGB's top agent, Major Anya Amasova, aka Agent XXX, is pulled from her own love interest. We actually get to see her before Bond, which I think was smart. The juxtaposition showing these two agents from competing ideologies in similar situations, both spies that mix pleasure with duty, but the job always wins. It equalizes the XXX character with Bond. Barbara Bach's icy competence makes Agent XXX a stellar foil for Roger Moore's suave 007. So right out of the gate we establish that these characters are equals to each other and very similar to each other, even if maybe they don't want to admit it. What works is the symmetry. It's sharp, it's dynamic. She's not going to be just another so-called Bond girl. Then comes the ski chase, and it's pure gold. Bond rockets down the slopes in a hilariously ugly yellow snowsuit that I'm guessing was fashionable in the late 70s. He is pursued by assassins including Barsov, guns blaze, and Bond drops the bad guys before launching himself off of a cliff. Free-falling for a while, then popping a Union Jack flag parachute. It's iconic, thrilling, and just cheeky enough without going full cartoon. The 007 theme music here is 70s infused, but that's okay, it just adds to the charm. Cue to the opening credits with Nobody Does It Better, a catchy Bond tune to be sure. It fits the 70s vibe without derailing things. It's an okay song. After the opening credits, the pace hits a snag. Bond is off to Egypt chasing a microfilm that has submarine tracking info on it. It's a nice little MacGuffin. He links up with a shady Cairo contact, but the plot meanders through clubs, belly dancing, flirting. It feels like a travel log with a side of espionage. It's gorgeously shot to be sure, but it takes way too long to get things going. What doesn't work in this movie is the sluggish setup after the opening credit sequence. It's a spy thriller, not a pyramid postcard. Things perk up when Bond snags the microfilm only for Jaws, the metal-mouthed menace henchman guy, to chomp the contact dead. The brawl amid ancient ruins with scaffolding crashing, fists flying, it feels tense and visceral, it's fun. The action is decent when it actually happens. Jaws is a brute force nightmare, and it's obvious why he's one of the most memorable Bond villains or villain henchmen. Bond and Agent XXX, who's tailing him naturally, swipes Jaws' van to escape through the Egyptian desert with the microfilm. They bounce over dunes, and the van starts falling apart. The van is just a rickety old piece of junk. They play some weird circus music that shifts to a waltz, and it pulls me right out of the movie. This is an example of the film trying too hard to be funny. They ditch the van and trek out on foot. Anya, Agent XXX, nabbing the microfilm in a slick move. Agent XXX one-upmanship is great, she's clever, she's not swooning, proving that she's Bond's equal. The microfilm gets decoded. M and the KGB's General Gogol order Bond and Agent XXX to team up. Once these two team up, it's pure movie magic. On a train, Jaws ambushes their compartment, choking Bond, smashing furniture, nearly crushing XXX with his teeth. Bond zaps him in the dentures with a lamp and kicks him out the window. It's a brutal, no-nonsense fight. It's intense, no camp, just high stakes, action that works very well. Plus, after this, the rivalry between Bond and Agent XXX starts melting into attraction. Subtle looks, shared danger. These two actors nail it. Their chemistry is great. Well, eventually these two get to their destination. Nice to see 007 actually using a spy cover for a change as they infiltrate Stromberg's Atlantis, a jaw-dropping underwater lair that's part sci-fi, part villainous excess. It's one of my favorite James Bond villain lairs. Stromberg is a narcissistic nutcase, feeding disloyal goons to a shark via trapdoor elevator, or launching rockets at a helicopter as his goons think they're getting away with money. He's plotting to nuke the United States and Soviet Union to start World War III so that he can rebuild society underwater. It's a bonkers, ridiculous idea, but it's grandiose enough. When played straight, it works. Bond's little white car goes full Gadget-mobile, dodging explosions, then dives off a pier and turns into a submarine. Cool as heck. It's ridiculous, but you know what? It's fun. It's one of the most iconic James Bond moments where the car turns into a submarine. It's one of those classic, hey, I want one moments in movie history. But when it surfaces on a beach, rolling past stunned sunbathers, Bond tosses a fish out the window for laughs, and we get Drunk Guy. I like this guy. He's in 3 of the James Bond movies. He sees something ridiculous and then looks at the booze, wondering if he's hallucinating. This guy is in 3 different Bond movies. I love that. I hope when they reboot the franchise, maybe they'll bring Drunk Guy back. I think he's great. Agent XXX learns that Bond killed her lover in Austria and adds a killer twist. She vows post-mission revenge. When the mission is over, she's going to kill James Bond. It adds a little bit of tension and adds a little bit of character development, and it just makes the movie a little bit richer. The plot peaks as they board the USS Wayne to probe Stromberg's tanker ship, which swallows it up whole, revealing a sub-docking fortress. Stromberg monologues his apocalyptic plan, grabs Agent XXX, Bond escapes, and rallies the British, Soviet, and American sailors for a revolt. This rescue battle is a showstopper. A massive firefight battle sequence, explosions galore, sailors charging like it's D-Day. It's a gigantic setup, great action. It's a blast that works perfectly. It's the best part of the entire movie in my opinion. One of the best James Bond sequences ever. In the control room, Bond reprograms the subs to launch nukes at each other, a genius trick that has the bad guys blowing themselves up. It's a clever and satisfying way to do this. It's peak 007 ingenuity. And here's the gem that made me chuckle. As the familiar 007 music was blaring during an action sequence, Bond flips off the tracking monitors and the music stops abruptly as if James Bond turned the soundtrack off himself. It's meta, it's fun without going too overboard, it's just a little wink at the audience that works, and unlike almost every joke in this movie, that actually made me laugh. Anyway, Bond and Stromberg confront each other, there's an under-the-table gun trap, Bond flips it and blasts him through the table, poetic justice. Jaws gets a rematch with Bond as they fight each other. James Bond turns on a magnet and lifts him up by his metal teeth, which I thought was great. Bond dumps him into a shark tank, but Jaws actually out-Jaws Jaws. Jaws bites the shark. I don't know if it's funny, I don't know if it's campy, I don't know how to feel about it, but you know what? It's just part of what makes this movie, so I guess I'm going to put that in the category of I like it, even though it's kind of silly. After all is said and done, Bond and XXX are together. XXX points a gun at James Bond, reminding us that she vowed to kill Bond once the mission is over, but instead of shooting him, they have sex. And of course, their romp gets viewed by M and XXX's Soviet boss. It's sort of like the ending of Moonraker, where people observe them hooking up. But in this movie, it works better because it's more earned. Moonraker felt more like a copycat. The Moonraker version just seemed too much like a ripoff. It works in this movie because it's earned. In Moonraker, it seemed gratuitous. The disco-heavy music is fun in this movie, albeit dated. A lot of the 1970s stuff really sticks out in 2025. But you know what? The movie overall is great. It has some campy missteps. It drags a little bit before the two agents hook up. But from the point where XXX and 007 are teamed up together, from that point forward, it is one of the best James Bond movies ever. It just takes a little while to get going and has a few missteps. Overall, I still rank it very, very high as an excellent, very watchable, very rewatchable James Bond movie. Let me know in the comments what you think. Did you enjoy The Spy Who Loved Me? Do you think it's your favorite Roger Moore outing? What movie would you like to see me watch next? I'm open to suggestions. I'm watching all kinds of different stuff. I'm going through the Fast and Furious movies. I'm taking some random old movies and a few new movie reviews here and there. Hit that like and subscribe button so you see what I'm up to next. Eric Wilfred Watson signing out.